Welcome back everyone, Dan here, and today I'm going to give you my review of the GT Omega Apex wheel stand. But before we get going, I want to give a huge thank you to our partner GT Omega for supplying us with this wheel stand so we can review it for you. If you want to take a closer look at this wheel stand or any of the other items that they offer, be sure to check out the links in the video description below. And also, if you decide to make a purchase, you can use discount code DAN at checkout for an additional 5% off of your order. Now, I have been gathering up sim racing equipment piece by piece for many years, but like many other sim racers, I started out using a controller on consoles. Eventually though, I went through the standard progression of researching and buying my first force feedback wheel, and then I had to figure out a way to mount it so I could actually use it. I tried mounting it to desks, I tried mounting it to tables, I tried mounting it to all kinds of stuff, only to find out that none of it really worked that well for me. What I needed was something temporary and portable that I could stick in front of the TV in the living room when I was racing, but then I could put it away when I wasn't. That's when I started researching and using wheel stands. And I've actually used a ton of wheel stands over the years before making the move to a full sim rig. I use center post wheel stands, full frame wheel stands, and I used a variety of different brands. And while they all worked okay, I still found them all to be plagued with two common problems. The first problem was because of their portable and lightweight designs, they all lacked the rigidity and strength that they really needed. So even the weakest entry-level force feedback wheels would cause movement in the wheel stand's frame. And the more movement in the frame that you have, the less force feedback you actually feel through the wheel and through your hands. The second problem was when you stepped on the brake pedal hard, the wheel stand would slide forward. This was because the wheel stands were too light and too compact, and all of your body weight was in your chair, and there was not enough body weight or weight at all in the wheel stand. So over the course of a race, the wheel stands would slide further and further away. So what I needed was a wheel stand that was portable and light, yet still heavy and rigid enough to provide a solid and stationary mount for my racing wheel. So has GT Omega finally cracked the code with the Apex wheel stand? Let's find out. So we'll start out by talking about the unboxing process. As you open the box, you will quickly realize that the Apex is pretty much fully assembled. Aside from the small wheel deck and the optional shifter assembly, all the framework, including the adjustable pedal plate, is all bolted together and ready to slide out of the box. In the box, you will also find some assorted hardware to mount your equipment to the wheel stand, as well as 4 rubber feet to be screwed on the bottom. As soon as you lift the Apex up out of the box, you realize quickly that it has some weight to it. Compared to any other wheel stand that I've had in the past, the Apex feels much heavier. It also feels much more solid and sturdy. The frames here on the Apex appear to be very similar in size and shape to the frames on my GT Omega ART cockpit, so it gets a check mark for the durability and strength box. Mounting your equipment to the wheel stand is relatively simple. However, I do recommend mounting your wheel to the wheel plate before mounting the plate to the wheel stand. It can be slightly difficult to get to the wheelbase mounting holes once the plate is installed. Likewise, you will want to mount your pedals to the pedal plate before tightening the pedal plate down so you can raise it up for easy access to the pedal mounting holes. Now, because it is a wheel stand, it is designed to be folded up so you can put it away. So yes, the Apex is portable, but it is what I would call a two-step, two-handed process. Before you can fold it up completely, you have to unscrew the plastic fasteners on both sides of the pedal plate, and then as you are folding up the frame, you have to guide the pedal plate with your other hand so it folds up with the main frame at the same time. It's still a one-man job, but it's not as easy as some of the others I've used in the past. Personally for me though, I would much rather have the sturdy design of the Apex than a less sturdy design that is easier to fold up any day. So on the subject of the pedal plate, this is by far one of the best I have seen on a wheel stand yet. It's completely adjustable and can be set anywhere from nearly flat to around 45 degrees. It actually has more levels of adjustment than my ART does. This allows for a huge level of adjustment for any set of pedals you may end up using, and also allows you to really dial in your preferred level of comfort. Also, the pedal plate, wheel deck, and shifter assembly come pre-drilled for all of the standard consumer wheels, pedals, and shifters that are available on the market. So let's talk briefly about the shifter bracket. Most wheel stands do come with a shifter bracket, but in many cases they seem like they are just an afterthought. Most of the time they are way too flimsy, and they are almost always putting your shifter in an unrealistic shifting position. Most of them are way too high and way too close to the wheel itself. This is not the case with the Apex. Because of the frame design and the strength of the shifter assembly, they're able to extend the shifter out in a more realistic, more natural location. So now I'm going to discuss the weight aspect of the Apex and talk about a few pros and cons due to that weight. So I measured the weight of the Apex with the G29 wheels and pedals installed, and it came in at about 45 pounds. That's without a shifter or the shifter bracket installed, and keep in mind that the G29 is relatively light compared to other wheels on the market. Combine that with the awkward way it folds up, and it is definitely a chore to fold and move around. That being said though, there is a huge pro to that weight. That pro is that it does not move when you step on the pedals. With the large rubber feet and the weight of this wheel stand, it is going to stay exactly where you put it. A few times I've actually even felt it pushing my seat backwards. That is just the unfortunate side effect of having your seat separate from the stand that your wheel is on, and the only real way to completely remove that issue is to step up to a full rig, and that's what I did. So to sum up my review, if you were looking for a very solid, very sturdy, and highly adjustable wheel stand, and you're willing to sacrifice a little bit of portability for those pros, the GT Omega Apex is going to be the right choice for you. It typically retails right around $200 US, and for that price, I think it's a great deal, and probably one of the best wheel stands available on the market today. GT Omega often has items on sale though, so make sure you check out the link in the description for the most current pricing, and don't forget to use discount code DAN when checking out for that additional 5% off. So that's going to do it for my review of the GT Omega Apex wheel stand. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them below in the comment section. And as always guys, thanks so much for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.